the breakup happens because one person was asking for what they needed for a while and the other person really wasn't listening and wasn't taking action, it's very difficult because the person who gets broken up with, they understand that they kind of dropped the ball, but they also didn't think that that was the breaking point. They didn't think that this was going to be it. So if you were the person that did the breaking up in this, you probably had to go there because they weren't listening to what it was you were asking for. And if you were the person on the receiving end of that, it's very difficult because you didn't realize, you really didn't, that this was going to cause a breakup. So what do I feel about these and what are the odds here? You know, I'm always one who feels like a relationship is really worth the effort, even in breakup. If you had a good foundation and there was a lot of love there and connection, it's important to take a look at what the possibilities are in the future. So a lot of times this doesn't happen overnight and it shouldn't. You shouldn't just get back together in the first week or month or, you know, even a few months after that, because that's only getting back together because you love each other, you miss each other, there's like, you know, the familiar place with that person. So you're doing it more for comfort than you are because of change happening. So don't be afraid of playing the long game here. Don't be afraid of months passing. Don't let it scare you into thinking, that's it, we're done for life. Let the months that pass work for you. Start to think about what were the problems that kept coming up? What were the solutions to those problems? How did you operate over and over again that it caused the breakup? When those problems happened, what did you do about it? Probably nothing. Probably just brush it under the rug and keep going. That only buys you time. So if you get back together too soon, all it does is buy you 6 more months, and then you're going to have the same issues and probably another breakup. So while you're in separation, do the work. Really think about, are these problems survivable? Can we push through it? Are we too different that we can't make this work? Or are these things that we really can listen to what it is they're saying, what it is they're asking for, and we can make concessions. We can try to get ourselves back on the same path. So it's important, if you were the one doing the breaking up or you were the one who got broken up with, don't rush anything. I know it's scary and you want to get right back in there, but don't rush. Take your time. See how this plays out. Really consider not only what the recurring problems were, but how do we actually solve them? And this is a really important part of the process, because if you start talking after 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever it is, I know people are like, I can't wait 2 days. Sometimes you have to. Wait, take your time. When you start having conversation, it's going to be fruitful. It's going to go somewhere, because listen, we may take people for granted, but once you have that breakup, oh boy, does that change. All of a sudden, that time apart makes you appreciate everything that you had. And I know some people say, well, if you have to have a breakup that makes you appreciate your person, then that's not it. That's not true. We're human. We sometimes do learn a lot in that separation, and we make changes that we weren't running to make before. So I don't want everybody to get so down on themselves, like, that's it, I blew it, or, there's no coming back from this. I really want people to hold space for, let it play out. Let it play out. Don't be so afraid of time passing. It has to happen. That's the way change happens. So even if you were the person doing the breaking up, you probably had to get to that point because they weren't listening, they weren't hearing. So allow that time to pass. And if you feel like you have to go in the other direction right now and that's what you need to do, that's where you are, go there. It's okay. Just sit in the space of letting it play out, because you need real change. You don't need just the I'm so sorry, I love you. That's great. We need that. That has to be part of it. But then the other half of it has to be someone recognizing things have to change, because you'll come back as a better version of one another if you do that work and take that time. So don't let time scare you. I know it's so hard. Believe me. Days pass like years when you're going through a breakup, but it's necessary for change. Change does not happen overnight. It doesn't. It doesn't. Don't be afraid of seeing where this goes. Trust your path. Sit back and trust your path. Your life is going to present itself to you daily. Daily. Just take one single day at a time. Don't get ahead of yourself. Just do the best you can to manage the time apart, surviving every day, and really trying to get to a place where you can have conversation about, Is this possible? Or if it's not, you're going to get there. Give yourself time. Don't feel like you have to make any decision today. Let life play out. You can do this. You can sit in this terrible space of limbo. You can. I promise you can.